So I'm just going to do a quick video review and a little bit of an analysis of some of the play that we made yesterday, looking at the Owls' first game of the season up against Portsmouth, which of course in some ways was an exciting game to score 3 goals, and was also mightily frustrating to have managed to concede 3 goals, particularly as we've conceded in such a sloppy manner. So we're going to have a little bit of a look at some of the goals now. So we're starting here. This is the build-up to what is the first goal, and you notice that although we're only employing 3 centre-backs, you'll see just how wide Iorfa is at this moment in time, standing right out here on the touchline. So allow the play to develop.
A couple of passes among each other. Here is Iorfa. Now inside to
so nice little ball into Gregory's feet.
With his back to goal.
You see that there? Just go back a few seconds. Watch it again. People said that Bannon didn't have very much of a game yesterday. You watch this ball. Who is there in our team who's going to have to see this ball over the top is available? Who else is in the league? Watch how Bannon's there. Look, there's no ball at all on. That's a fantastic ball through. Windass is very well here. Could have took his time. I think the ball was across to Gregory rather than across to Johnson, but it's a superb move. Well played by Bannon. Brilliant ball over the top. Really well done by Windass. So this is now into the second half. This is the build-up to Portsmouth's first goal. Nothing particularly remarkable about the build-up. One thing you will notice is that we're standing very much in a straight long line, and we are marking man-to-man. We're not marking zonally at all. Every single player is touch tight with his own man. So far so good. So then, as we watch as this play develops,
just a one-man wall. The corner is
perfectly fine there. We defend it well. Everybody's perfectly okay. Windass goes across to his man. Now, if you look here, from this position, there's no particular danger. Everything's looking perfectly okay. Now, Windass is lined up reasonably well. The main job that he's got to do over here, Windass, is to make sure that this player doesn't get down there. Windass has simply got to stand in the position that he's stood in right now and make sure that the next move, like Marlon Pack here, Marlon Pack's next move has got to be to play the ball in this direction. What Windass cannot do is let him go down there. And if you look at his positioning where he currently is, it's perfectly fine. But watch how it develops.
To clear it away.
Straight away, he's got himself on the wrong side, and now all of a sudden we're in trouble.
Loose ball picked up by Pack.
Ball comes back across. We missed the first header. A perfectly good second header. Now, 1 or 2 people have criticised the goalkeeper for that, but I don't think there's anything at all you can do with that. Header from 5 yards out, it's just inside the post. I don't think there's too many goalkeepers that's going to be able to stop that. The problem with it is we need to stop the cross, and Windass was in a very good position to stop the cross, and then for some inexplicable reason he ends up allowing space to get to the byline, and we don't win the header. Now this is just a few minutes later, the score is still 1-1, and we start to see a position now which really this is what's become our problem with our defending. Because we're only playing a very narrow 3, Ihekwe here is just turn it on. Ihekwe here is our only left-sided centre-back, and of course he's right-footed. The problem that you've got is, as you can see here, is that there's all of this space which is always available down that side. And if Ihekwe was going to go across there and cover it, then we've only got 2 men in the middle. Now, Portsmouth were aware of that, as plenty of other people are. And this is our left wing-back. Now, this is not particularly critical of Johnson. His job is to get pushed up the field. But you can see straight away, if any ball that Ihekwe plays here is bad and goes into this sort of area and we lose the ball, the very next ball is going over here and we're in trouble. And that's the way the things started to develop. Watch as the play goes forward. Turn the pen off, sorry. So, we play the ball down the line, perfectly fine. Gets a nice ball into Johnson.
On the left-hand side, he's got Windass ahead of him. Johnson goes for the early cross. Gregory, he almost took that, controlled it, but it was defended well by Raggett, who's able to clear only as far as Deli Bashiru, who hits one from range.
Fantastic shot. There's
Wednesday go back in front almost immediately here at Hillsborough.
Now we're up to the point where we have Byers gets an opportunity. Now quite a few people have been critical of George Byers and saying it's an easy chance, he's got to finish it. We'll have a little look at it again and see how easy you think it is. So very well played by Gregory, as it always is. He fights very, very well. It's a great run from Byers. And yeah, he's not going up on that. He should have been able to hit that harder. But bear in mind, this on his left foot. He's a right-footed player. He's stealing into the box. At the point that he hits it, he's still quite some distance out. It by no means was that a tap-in. It would have been a really good finish if he'd have managed to put that into the far corner. So I don't think there's an awful lot of room to be criticising Byers for not finishing that particular ball. So here we are again a few minutes later, and it's a very similar situation to the one that I highlighted before. Again, we've got Marvin Johnson pushed up the pitch, out wide, exactly in the position that he should be. We've got Ihekwe quite a long way over to the left, and we've got masses of space right down the line. So the absolute last thing that Deli Bashiru can do in here is lose the ball. He's simply got to put the ball into Marvin Johnson's feet. There's no other options here. But that's not what he does. Watch as the play develops.
On the front foot at the moment, as Deli
Loses the
Bashiru
ball.
turns on the halfway line.
Now look. Instantly that he loses the ball, we are now in terrible trouble. Why? Because Marvin Johnson's here. He hasn't got a prayer of being able to get back. Deli Bashiru is here. No way in the world that he's going to get back. And the problem we've now got here is we've got Ihekwe is over there. So he's pulled out really, really wide. And all of the space in this area, he's going to struggle to be able to cover it. Byers is here, but he's not going to be able to get back behind his man. Hennigan, no idea where he is. He's not available on the picture. I mean, realistically, you should be seeing a picture of Hennigan stood here. But he's not there. So we're in trouble. Watch how the play develops.
Good by Thompson. An opportunity for Portsmouth.
So, we have a situation here where there's no way in the world that Ihekwe is able to get close to his man. He hasn't been able to get far enough across. He hasn't been able to cut anything out. Hennigan now appears in the scene. What's he doing? What's his position? Now, Hennigan has either got to stop the cross, or he's got to be in the middle, somewhere close to this man here, Colby, and be able to stop the header. This position here that Hennigan is in is doing nothing of the sort. And this is the reason why I've been wondering whether playing this back three is going to be the answer, because imagine how much different the game would be if we had ourselves a proper left fullback who was stood there. Yeah, if that was the case, he's going to be able to come across here and address the ball, and Ihekwe is actually going to be somewhere in here stopping it. We need to have a man stood here. It's no good having Ihekwe out there not doing anything about it, and Hennigan out there not doing anything about it. So Hennigan's going across to try and cut it out, but you can already see from this freeze frame there's no way in the world Hennigan is going to be able to get across there fast enough to be able to stop the cross. And as soon as he doesn't stop the cross, he's no longer in the middle. You've now got Iorfa, who is in the middle, and Iorfa's now one-on-one with Colby, which we do not want. Watch how it develops.
Here with Piggott, right-hand side of the Wednesday penalty area. The cross is in and the header off the crossbar and then bundled in by Bishop.
Totally preventable goal if we just simply got a left full-back. Hennigan next gets nowhere near the ball. Ihekwe gets nowhere near the ball. Iorfa, he's just shocking defending. Nowhere in the world is he near his man. We'll just have a little look at Iorfa's positioning when we go back to it.
Headed onto the bar by...
If ever you want to have an example of how not to defend as a centre-half, Dominic Iorfa right here is giving that example. Dominic Iorfa needs to be able to be looking across here so he can see the cross coming, and he needs to be looking across here so he can see what Colby Bishop is doing. Look at his positioning. He's got his back completely to the striker, so he's got absolutely no idea. Now if Bishop comes across the front, let me just get rid of these. If Bishop goes what any other striker, any good striker would do, and he comes across here and gets in front of Iorfa, there's nothing Iorfa can do about it. If Bishop pulls off the back post, he's going to be wide open in space, nothing Iorfa can do about it. Or he can just simply stand still on the spot if he wants to, and Iorfa's going to do nothing about it. He can't see him, he's not looking, He's 5 yards away from him, facing the wrong direction. Iorfa needs to be round here, 380 degrees the other way, looking at his man. It's just absolutely terrible positioning. As soon as Colby Bishop goes across the front of him, he's going to lose the header, and that's exactly what happens. Never had a chance. Iorfa's positioning means he never had a chance. He didn't know where Bishop was. Never was he going to do it. Just awful defending. So this is a few minutes later, and we're back into exactly the same position as we were into before. We've got our left wing back pushed right up, and only the trouble we've got this time is that this guy here knows full well the space in behind him. This guy here knows the space in behind him, and this guy here knows the space in behind him. Portsmouth are all over it now. They can't wait to get hold of the ball. First one who does is pumping the ball over his head, knowing full well any sort of ball at all is going to leave us in terrible trouble. Look how it develops. Weak touch, plays it back. Johnson's miles out the way, lump it long. Look where we are now, look. We managed to actually be able to defend the ball, but look where we are in our positions now. So we've got Johnson's nowhere near the picture. Okay, this is our left centre back, stood up here. This is our centre back, stood right out here on the left hand side, and this is our right centre back. How is that for positioning? You know, you're just simply asking for trouble. And down here is our right wing back. Now, ideally, you want to have your 3 men lined up here, forming a wall that no one's going to be able to get through. But any sort of ball pumped over the top is going to do us. Now, they've played the first ball, and yes, we've won it. We've managed to be able to clear it. But the ball's not completely clear. They're just simply going to pump it straight back in again, knowing full well we are completely, totally out of position. Watch what happens on the next ball. Straight back up here. They know there's space. They can't wait to be able to pump the ball straight down. Marlon Pax having a look. Number 23 sees it. They know the ball over the top is going to do us. Here we are, look. Any sort of ball over the top. Look at the position we've got here. So this time we've got our wing back. It's come in position. But where is he? He's not goal side of the man. He's not stood here like he should be stood, facing that direction, so he can tackle him. He's the wrong side of the man. He's never going to be able to get a challenge in. Where are the centre halves? Well, this is our middle centre half. Who is he pointing at? What's he doing? No idea. Who is he marking? Nobody. Who is he stopping? Nobody. Dominic Iorfa's position is not terrible in this position. He's got the man covered. But where's he looking? Does he know where the man is? Is he going to be able to follow the play? What if the man just simply pulls off into this space over here? Will Iorfa see it? Almost certainly he won't. Let's see how the play develops.
Curtis will give chase, and Curtis now looking to get the better and lays it back. Now the cross is in, and it's a free header for Colby Bishop.
Absolutely appalling. Why? Exactly the same mistake has been made again. Just go back and have a look at it. So here's the play just frozen as they're about to put the cross into the box. So what's happened here? Marvin Johnson has stopped this guy, but is he going to close this particular cross down? Look how far away he is. Now, he was up 1-to-1 with this guy, so how is he not able to move across and get somewhere close to the ball? He hasn't done. This is our front centre half. What's he doing here? He's not stopping the cross. He's not marking a man. He's just simply standing in a position where any sort of ball is going to go over his head. Doesn't matter because we've got Hennigan behind him. Go look where he stood. He stood at the front. Who's he marking? Nobody. Not stopping the cross, not defending the cross. Same again. Any sort of decent ball into the box is going over his head. There's no way they're able to stop it. Over here we've got Iorfa. Which direction is Iorfa looking in? Same scenario again. He needs to look over here to see where the cross is coming, and he needs to be looking here at Colby Bishop, because Colby Bishop's going to be able to make a run. Where's he going to make the run? Well, last time around he made the run across the front of Iorfa, which is easily available to him on this particular occasion, and this time around he's going to go in behind Iorfa. Iorfa's got no idea, can't see him, doesn't know what he's doing. Colby Bishop's one of the best headers of a ball in the division. Iorfa's not even looking at him. Look how it develops.
The early stages of the second, it's Sheffield Wednesday 2, Portsmouth 3.
Now for some reason, Iorfa
Options, nothing.
is blaming Jack Hunt for that, but Jack Hunt wasn't his man, Iorfa's man. And this is the problem I've got with that. The system that we're playing, we are going to get done by that ball every single time it is played. We aren't going to be able to get out there to stop the cross. We're going to have Hector go across there and unsuccessfully try and block it. We're going to have Hennigan come across the front post and the cross is going to go over his head, and Iorfa's going to be left one-on-one with a striker. We are going to concede goal after goal after goal. We can't defend like that. So here we have another situation somewhere towards the end of the game. Just want to highlight the same scenario again. This time we deal with it rather better. First thing you've got to be able to notice is the centre halves are much more in a line and much more close to each other. I mean, ideally you want to see, as I said there, a straight line, and you'd want to be able to see Marvin Johnson further back probably, but this is not a terrible position to actually be in. And in this occasion we win the first ball. See how it develops.
Outlet up.
So Hennigan wins the first ball, but straight away look here. Again, you see the problem. Marvin Johnson is in this position up here, and he's constantly this side of the man. If we had ourselves a fullback and he was stood over here and he was facing the right direction, there's no need then for Ihekwe to panic. Ihekwe's panicking most of the game. He's a right footer, he doesn't want to be challenged, he knows he's in trouble, and he's trying desperately to come across and cover this sort of area over here. But Ihekwe's a centre half. Ihekwe needs to be in the middle winning some of the headers. The job of stopping the cross is not the centre half. The job of that is for the wide man. But because we put Marvin Johnson so far up, he's never in this position here. He's always in this position. So consequently, he's the wrong side of the man most of the time, which is dragging Ihekwe right out the way. So if you notice the position we've now got, you've got now all three centre halves, same scenario again, all stood together on the one side. You know, as it happens, they're only interested in playing the ball into this area down here, but you have a little look at that. If the man can get his head up and play a ball anywhere over here, there's absolute acres of space. You know, we're so panicking about trying to defend this area, which we aren't defending. We're completely leaving all of this area to any sort of ball at all. We're going to get done by a switched ball.